Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. I hope you guys are always in the good condition. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. And thank you very much to Mrs. Dr. Endang Darsi MPD for helping us in the making of this presentation. Subsequently, let me introduce myself. My name is Rafif Ramadhan. I am a fourth semester student of English Educational Department of Class 2A, and right now I'm going to have an academic presentation. It is actually a journal review concerning about ICT implementation in English teaching and learning at school in Indonesia. Now, without any further ado, let's have a look at the first page, which will explaining about journal identity. Journal identity. Well, I have downloaded the journal from this site, Cakrawala Pendidikan Indonesia, Jurnal Ilmiah Pendidikan, and it is actually part of series Cakrawala Pendidikan edisi Februari tahun 37 nomor 1. Here's and those were the printed ISSN along with online ISSN. Now let's have a look at the next page, which is Journal Award. Arif Hussein Lubis from UPI, or Indonesia University of Education. That was him, and that was his email. lubis@ah@yahoo.com. Now, this is the title of my presentation today, and also the title of my journal. ICT Integration in 21st Century Indonesian English Language Teaching Myths and Realities. As we know, technology has become our daily needs, but when it comes to educational environment, we need to know if it was implemented maximally and correctly, or there are still major and minor problems to be fixed. And let's have a look at the outlines of my presentation. The first one, we have rationale and research goals, and then literature review, methodology, findings, and the last one, conclusion. The first one, we are going to talk about rationale and research objectives or goals. Rationale. Research on publication subject is still limited. As we know, albeit profoundly addressed and promoted the limited research-based or identified in publication regarding EFL features, perception, and on attitudes towards the implementation of ICT on educational fields, to whether it is considered as a real solution for ELT praxis reflecting on their experiences. So it is clear that at that current time, the publication or this type of research was still limited. And then goal of this study, seeking the attitude and perception of English teachers. There are 13 English teachers, and the goal of this study is to seeking 13 English teachers' perception and on attitudes towards the integration of ICT implementation. Now let's have a look at the literature review. One of the concerns within the framework of 2013 curriculum in Indonesia is the integration of ICT as the learning concept in English language teaching and learning. Well, it is logical to say that the development of ICT integration has so many positive impact and affected any kinds of educational fields. In relation to that, it is said that the utilization of ICT integration has so many positive impact both for primary educational level and secondary educational level. And then the challenges faced by the teachers were technical problem and lack of facilities. Those when teachers were trying to implement any kind of technology into class and their teaching process. The result of the research suggested that most teachers felt comfortable with computers, yet not really competent in using it. There are so many teachers that get use of technology like computer or internet, but there are so many teachers as well feel reluctant, even refuse to use and learn it because so many and various factors. Plus and minus on ICT implementation in English learning process and progress. Well, the benefits of implementation of ICT in English teaching and learning seemingly more on technical levels like preparing PowerPoints or presentation or preparing related materials instead in a functional and communicative level. And then even though they were know that the implementation of technology in their classroom settings would be very beneficial, it can help the learning and teaching process more meaningful and interesting. But the limit of time, limit of facilities, limit of skill in using technology was the main constraints in conducting an effective or proper integration. And then no clear-cut evidence on whether ICT integration is considered beneficial for improving students' productiveness and communicative skills or not. Now let's have a look at the methodology. The design of this study was descriptive qualitative. It is clear. It is used to gain some evidence concerning about EFL or ELT praxis teachers to pertaining their what is it? It is used to gain some evidence concerning the FL teachers' perception and on attitudes towards the ICT integration in FL classroom settings. The data gained were analyzed and displayed descriptively. We're going to see after these slides. The subject of the research were 13 English school teachers from 5 schools in Bandung, including 1 school from elementary school, 1 school from senior high school, and 1 school from junior high school. And there you go, the details of participants with various category and subcategory. Now let's have a look at the findings or the result. There's actually 13 participants, but I only took 4 samples in this presentation due to the limitation of time. And let's take a look at the respondents 7 first. For a 6th grader students, they were getting used to make short presentation and presenting it in front of the class. But for a lower grade, the teacher usually given particular material before they given games or worksheets to maintain their understanding or to test their understanding to the materials. And the respondent 12 employs both as the learning media in English class. It is interesting because there's not so many features have a blog or a website to use them in the educational learning process and progress, especially in English subject. And then respondent 3, lack of ICT mastery for lecturer and students, also the limit of facility. It is being said that for respondent number 3 in his school, this teacher doesn't have an equivalent facility skills both for the lecturers and the students, so it is not really possible to implementing or integrating ICT in that school at that current time. But mostly all the respondents have been familiar with some synchronous types of ICT, like in multimedia we have audio and video, and in software we have a basic Microsoft Word, Excel and PowerPoint tool. And then for gadgets, they can use phones and laptops. However, there are so many respondents as well feel not accustomed to the asynchronous types of ICT. And then here we go, the final section, conclusion. First, most of respondents have employed technology-based learning media in their classes. English classes, time allocation and technical problems become the major constraints to conduct improper integration, and also with the lack of facility. Thus, reflected on the present findings, it is indicated that The concept of ICT integration in 2013 curriculum to gain positive attitudes and perception of English teachers has mainly successful. That's it, my presentation today. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.